So Joe Pyfer has recently came out and explained why he never fought at UFC Mexico. He took to Instagram and Twitter and posted a video up about everything that happened to him in the build-up to that fight. You know what I mean? The guy was talking smack, saying that he wasn't going to fight the day before, and then the day of, or just literally after the weigh-ins, he went for his team dinner, and everything went to shit. Quite literally. He went to the toilet 10 or 11 times that he spoke about. But let's jump on over and have a little look at that clip of Joe Pyfer.
Well, I wanted to jump on here and address what happened. So I went to my team dinner. I did not drink the water. I hadn't drank the water the whole time I was out there. Went to my team dinner, had some food that was in a place that was supposedly trusted. And yeah, a couple hours later, I had the runs. I think I shit at least 10, 11 times. I went from, I think 209 pounds, something like that, as I was still hydrating, down to 194 pounds the morning of, with a puddle that I was sleeping in, a fever, nausea, obviously, like vomit, excruciating stomach pain, and
I just want to pause it there. A puddle that you were sleeping in. A puddle of what, Joe? Like a puddle of sweat or a puddle of shit? Because either way, it ain't nice, you know what I mean? But the latter is even worse, to be honest with you. But yeah, like, he's gone out for his dinner. He went to somewhere that was supposed to be trusted. He's had something to eat. It's either not agreed with him. It's too hot, too spicy. You know what I mean? Turned his tummy upside fucking down, and the man started shitting sideways. Like I said, he lost a ton of weight. To be fair, if you're going to be losing that much weight and you can't hold a shitting, it's a pretty solid reason not to be going in for a fight. But his whole delivery of this thing was wild. You know what I mean? Like, why he went at Mexico the way he did, and why he talked about places being a shithole, not going back there, I have got no idea. But let's continue to listen to what Joe's got to say.
And the doctor, as well as I didn't find it smart to fight like that. And I know that's not what everybody wants, but I have to look out for me and my health and what's my best interest. Trust me, I am upset as well. You know, to make that weight, put my body through that, not get paid for it, go out there, spend a bunch of money, bring all my, you know, close friends and family out, and to not be able to perform. It's the first time it's ever happened to me, but I'm not regretful of my decision, and I'm proud of myself, proud of my decision, and, you know, I live to fight another day. And
that is one thing that you've got to give to him, to be fair. You know what I mean? UFC fighters tend to have to pay for their own team to get out to the events. The UFC only pay for one cornerman. They would have to pay for the rest of the team, for all of their flights, all of their hotels, and whatever else happens. So it is a big chunk that comes out of their pocket. So to go through a 12-week camp, whatever it was, to then cut all of that weight, to then have to pay all of that money to not get paid, that is a kick in the teeth. You've got to give it to the man on that point. You know what I mean? That's not something that anybody's going to want. And he's now out of pocket and doesn't have a fight. But as he feels that he has done the right thing for his career.
What's meant to be is meant to be. And, you know, our fight with Kelvin was not meant to be yesterday. And it is what it is. So, and if you guys are one of those people out there spreading negativity like this hasn't been my whole life or everything that I've worked for, you can blow me. I don't give a fuck about your opinions. And, yeah, fuck it, we march on. So after they called my fight, I hopped on a flight and back home. There's no way, like, look, I believe I'm going to absolutely destroy Kelvin when I get the opportunity again, if, you know, he accepts and we can run it back. I feel bad for Kelvin as well, you know. I didn't give that man a chance to make his money. I don't know if they'll take care of him or not, but, you know, it's never my intention to leave somebody high and dry. We deserve to fight. It's an entertaining fight. It's a good matchup. And, you know, he bangs, I bang. And, you know, hopefully in the future we can run it back. But, you know.
I mean, I'd still be interested in seeing the fight, whether it's something that the UFC will look at putting on again. I'm not too sure about that. And hats off to the man for giving a shout to Kelvin Gastelum and obviously feeling bad that he wouldn't be getting paid. But at the same time, I'm sure the UFC probably would have gone, what, you've turned up, you've done all of this piece. Here's your show money, at least, you know what I mean, for Kelvin Gastelum. He's a veteran of the sport. He's been there for years. He's done many things for the UFC too. So I'm sure they'll look after him. So hats off to Joe Pyfer on that one for actually giving a shout out to Kelvin Gastelum and saying, look, I'm gutted that he's not been able to get paid too, but it is what it is.
You know, sorry to my true fans that were excited to watch me fight. I was in the best shape of my life, and I couldn't wait to fight too. And yeah, man, thanks for all the love that I've gotten. I oftentimes focus on the negative, but I've gotten a lot of positive and a lot of love, and I appreciate you guys. I will be back as soon as I can kick this fever and cold or whatever the fuck I have. I'll be back to training. But for now, it still stings that I didn't get to fight. But the last thing I will address is, I don't care if it's offensive to you. I will never go back to that country. I did everything right. I slept in a tent. I did all this work to still get sick. Some people are saying it wasn't the food, saying I got altitude sickness.
I mean, the fact that he thinks that he's got a cold, which you mentioned a second ago, and that once he gets over all of this, then he'll be back in and he'll be fighting again, tells me that there wasn't the food as well, to be honest with you. You can't be blaming a country, you can't be blaming food. You said you've done everything right. You went to a trusted place, you never drank the water. Bro slept in a tent. What are you sleeping in a tent for, bro? Like, what's he sleeping in a tent for? Is that like to acclimatize, like, or whatever? Like, I'm not too sure on why you would be sleeping in a tent. I'm sure the brother goes on to say that he'd be sleeping in a tent for 2 months on the floor. Like, why would you do that when you're fighting at sea level? That's whatever. There's probably some science behind it, but I don't bloody know what it is.
A lot of fucking geographic fucking, elevation fucking scientists, but I was told as long as I acclimated, which I did for 2 months, slept in a tent, and on the fucking floor, I did everything that I could to prepare. And if that's what altitude and elevation is, fuck that country. I will never fight there again. Shithole, not going back. Don't care if that's offensive to you. You're not the one fighting. Suck my balls, literally.
So, yeah, that is pretty damn offensive. And I imagine that would be pretty damn offensive to a lot of people. And he's probably just lost a lot of fans from going on this route. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you could have said, well, I done everything that I could. I turned up. I tried everything. I slept in a tent for 2 months. Maybe I ate some dodgy food. Maybe I had a cold and whatever it is. And sorry, I've not been able to fight. You did not need to jump on and start absolutely ripping on an entire nation and blaming on, like, from the sounds of it, blaming the Mexican people or Mexico for the reason you didn't turn up and fight. You know what I mean? You got sick, bro. You got sick. Like, you have really just lost some fans. There's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to be agreeing with that. And the whole suck my balls, I don't care, you're not the one that's fighting. I get it. Yeah, we aren't the ones that getting in there. But that's not the way that you can approach this. Like, that could have been dealt with in a much, much better way. He's probably feeling a little emotional. He's probably a little bit out of sorts. But at the same time, bro, like, that was not the way to handle that whole situation at all. Like, to me, it sounds like you got sick and you ended up with the runs, and you've got a fever, and like, you sound like you're a bit bunged up. I don't think it was the food. Maybe it was the elevation sickness. Maybe it was because you just couldn't handle being that high, and your body just went, whoa, like in overdrive. You know what I mean? But to be so disrespectful to a lot of people, to a country, in the way that you just were, was a little bit out of order. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Like, do you agree with Joe Pyfer here? Is it one of those things like, oh, went to crap, he's well within his rights with what he's saying? Or is he an absolute fucking melt for coming at that and having that approach to blame it on Mexico and call it a shithole and say that he's never going to be back? You know what I mean? Like, that is wild to me, personally. Anyway, I've been the Rambling Dad. Thanks for watching. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.